Good afternoon, everybody, and welcome to the FIM Motocross World Championship MXGP. It's the brand new series. 2019 is about to get underway here in the beautiful part of the world, South America, that is known as Patagonia. This is the MXGP of Patagonia, Argentina. My name's Paul Malin, and throughout 2019, as always, you can catch me live, uninterrupted, of course, on MXGPTV.com. Every race, every second, live on every weekend of 2019. We are in a 19-round series. This is the opener. What a better place to start things off here. It's a wonderful day here. Blue skies, nice temperatures, not too much breeze in the air as well. The circuit, very soft in places, hard underneath. Pretty much built on volcanic ash, but it's an all-weather circuit. We had a little bit of rain yesterday morning, overnight, and they've been doing a great job putting water into this track. Look at that, 29 degrees today. And we've got a decent crowd in here as well this weekend for day one. They're all under the trees over alongside the wave section. And the riders from MX2, as you can see from our live images, just getting ready to take to the line. They're making their way towards the end of their sighting lap. This circuit, just under 1,700 meters long, is high speed, so it's physical from a different aspect. They're going to be hanging on and using the power of the bike to get themselves out of the corners. The bumps are going to get choppy, high speed. And there's the wave section. A little bit of water gone down through there, but we're getting ready to go down to the grid. Lisa Leyland caught up with two riders, Mikael Horup from Rockstar Energy Husqvarna, the Ice One team, and Tom Vial.
It's round one, and it's almost time for the very first qualifying session of the 2019 season. So I want to grab a few words with a gentleman we haven't seen on the start line for MX2 this year. It's Mikael Horup. Mikael, I know last year you were in the EMX 250s. You were meant to be in the EMX 250s again this year, but of course you had a strong pre-season, and it's your first race in MX2. Tell us, what sort of emotions are you feeling at the moment?
Well, I'm really excited to be here. You know, it's difficult to get a spot to ride here because it's such a big travel and so big cost to get here. But anyway, I'm really excited to be here. Had some good trainings, so qualifying training this today, and I'm looking forward to the race. Hopefully, I can get a good start, and let's see what happens. Hopefully, I could be in top 10 for tomorrow. That would be cool.
And tell us about this track. It's your first time here in Argentina. Have you managed to see any of the sights? What are your thoughts on the track out there in practice?
Well, the track is really fast. It's really fast compared to the European tracks. But honestly, I enjoyed the jumps are really nice. But yeah, it's a little bit different, you know, to what I'm used to. But anyway, it will be good for sure.
Best of luck for your first race. Thank you. Okay, the next rider I'd like to catch up with is another new recruit. Is Red Bull KTM Factory MX2 rider Tom Vial. Tom. Wow, what sort of emotions are you feeling? Because I know you're new to the MX2 team. You haven't been here to Argentina before. Tell us, are you here all year? What's the plan?
Yeah, it's very nice. My temperature is very good, 11. I'm okay, I'm feeling good, and very excited for this race. It's my first GP.
Yeah.
And focus for tomorrow, for two races good tomorrow.
So what's the aim for this year? I guess it's just a learning year for you, getting used to the bike, getting used to the class.
Yeah, for me it's my first time, and okay, no pressure, and very good result for me, and good start is very important, and okay, I'm good.
Yeah. Well, best of luck. Thank you, Tom. Okay, good luck to all the guys. It's time for the first qualifying session of the 2019 season.
De la temporada del MXGP. Ahora con la MX2 ya van saliendo los pilotos. Gran desempeño.
So, as always, the riders then disappeared out on track for their sighting lap after those pre-grid interviews. Free practice, Thomas Kjær Olsen was fastest on his Rockstar Energy Husqvarna with a 1:40.3. That was 3/4 of a second quicker than the FNH Racing Kawasaki of Adam Sterry. Ben Watson, Verlanderen and Jorge Prado rounded out the top 5. But then in time practice, once again, Thomas Kjær Olsen with a 1:41.5. But less than 1/100th of a second quicker than the Bike DRT Kawasaki of the American Darian Sanai. Ben Watson was third for Monster Energy Khmer Yamaha. Fourth, Henry Jacoby on the FNH Racing Kawasaki. Jorge Prado Calvin Verlandren, Michele Chervelin, Brian Moreau, Adam Sterry, and Conrad Muse for Hitachi KTM, fueled by Milwaukee. They were your top 10. The rookie there, Tom Vial, coming home in 11th position for Red Bull KTM. Maxime Renault on the Yamaha SM Action MC Migliori machine. David Puches, Mikel Harap, Alvin Osland. Good to see him back riding for Revo Husqvarna UK this year. Mitch Evans, the Aussie, on the Honda 114 Motorsports. They had a fantastic debut last year in the arms of Hunter Lawrence, didn't they? Got the team's first podium at the first time of Askin, actually. Jago Geerts been struggling a little bit with the conditions here so far today, the number 193. And he'll be hoping for a better qualifying place than the 17th in time training. Ika Laranaga, great to see him back riding for Marchetti Racing Team KTM this season. Double shoulder surgery last year after Indonesia, so good to see the number 66 back in action. Dylan Walsh also stepping up full-time in MX2. There is Thomas Olsen, the pole man, ahead of the qualifying. Of course, the fastest in time practice gives him first gate pick for the qualifying races here today. Other riders on the line, there you see Darian Sinai, but Bas Vassen was 20, Brent Van Donnick, Matisse Boirame, Zach Pichon, Gustavo Pessoa, Richard Sakina. There is Darian Sinai, he's feeling pretty relaxed at the moment. Leonardo de Souza, Sergio Villaronga, Nick Mana, Lucas Dunker, Germain Bracci, Matteo Bierzi, Luciano Righi, Gonzalo Diaz Velez, and Agustin Carrasco. But the main guys, the favourites from MX2, they are exactly where they need to be. There is your defending champion, Jorge Prado, 5th in time practice, 1:42. And look at the times, though. There was less than a second separating the first 6, which was Calvin Verlandren for Team HRC, bringing his Honda home in that 6th place, 9/10 off of Thomas Olsen. So with the track being so flat and just starting to cut up and rough up, expect this one to be quite high intensity, quite fast, frantic and furious, because while these guys have done a few international races pre-season, you can guarantee they'll be chomping at the bit to get off the gate and get off to a flying start here. There is a new boy at Red Bull KTM, number 28, Tom Vial, qualified in 11th in time practice this morning. Of course, his dad, a former world number 3 in the 125 class from the 90s. And he's here as well, along with his mum. But the 43 there, just adjusting himself in 16th. Mitch Evans, Honda 114 Motorsports. But you can see everybody lining up over towards the right-hand side of the box as we look at it. The left as they line up, because it's not quite 180, but slightly more than 90. Ben Watson, he was on our MXGP TV studio show this morning, and he was feeling nice and relaxed. He's been up in the sharp end all day. 3rd in free practice, 3rd in time training. Talking to Adam Sterry after the first free practice, and he said the ground a lot softer this year, it seems, in places. And then I went and spoke to Rui Gonçalves, our track manager, and he was saying that when they first came here, the ground was quite crusty on top, so they've just gone in and taken the edge off, ripped it a little bit, thrown in some water, sealed it, but not completely compacted it down. And that's probably the reason why. So a fantastic racetrack for the riders to get themselves into here this weekend. And as ever, the Argentine Patagonian crowd will be enthusiastic, passionate. It's not often we come to these parts, but for the 5th year in a row now. Ingo Parchlook taking one last look over his shoulder, keeping an eye on what's going on behind in the first turn. We're just moments away, probably 35 seconds or so away from the first gate drop of the year here. And it's in the MX2 qualifying race, a race that last year was won by Pauls Jonas, and Thomas Olsen came home 2nd, and Watson was 3rd, actually, just to give you some indication. But the Fly Racing 15-second board goes up for the first time in 2019. MX2 qualifying 20 minutes plus 2 laps. Who is it going to be that grabs the early advantage here at the first time of asking? Gate drops here, good jump from Olsen, but he gets squeezed immediately by Watson, but Prado it is. And his teammate Vial. So the 2 KTMs, 1st and 2nd, the 61 and the 28, as they head through the first couple of corners and up and over these. Oh, there was a little kicker there. Prado had to correct, and he was nervous as well. He took a long look over his shoulder, Now, is that Jacobi or is that Sterry in third position? We'll have to wait and see. It's Jacobi, actually, the number 29. Alvin Osland just behind him for Revo Husqvarna. Over on the left-hand side, he triples in to this left-hand turn. Through the waves, you can see it's wet down there. Don't be surprised if one or two back ends get a little bit out of shape as they hit that wave section for the first time. But it's Prado who leads. Vial, Jacobi, Osland. Jago Gietz didn't get the better start that he was asking for. Sterry is 6. Matthijs Boerame 7. Thomas Olsen in 8th place. 9 is Watson. 10 Harup. 11 Pessoa. 12 Valandren. And a man down in the background there. Oh, Watson just getting a little bit of bump and grind with Valandren. I think that was in the red for HRC as they exited that turn up in the infield section. Through this rhythm section, through the sweeping right, over the slight knuckle jump, and then a couple of on-off sections here, working their way back round towards the finish line. We'll give you the first official lap in a few moments. Well, they've got to go finish line to finish line, but as they hit the line for the first time, we'll give you the positions as they stand. But no doubt about who the leader is, Prado, then Vial, then it's the 29 of Jacobi. Then we've got Osland, Olsen, Jago Gietz, Sterry, Michael Harup. And then Watson was just behind him on the Montrench Khmer Yamaha. So Watson in 8th place. In fact, it's found its way past Harup in the final corner. So Watson now 8, Harup 9, Boerame 10, Valandren 11, Dylan Walsh 12, Mitch Evans 13, Gustavo Pessoa 14, is ahead of his teammate Darian Sinai in 15th position. 16th is David Puches, Maxime Renault 17, Bas Varson, Michele Cherblin and Ika Laranaga. They are your top 20. Zach Pichon and Richard Sakina, the top 22. Muse had a bad start. He's in 25th place. But a fantastic start this for Frederic Vial's kid, Tom, who was a European 250 Championship runner last year, of course. Finished the championship in 8th position, got himself a couple of podiums and the odd race win here and there. But look at Jago Gietz. He's definitely brought his A game to this qualifying race. Starting to harass Jacobi just ahead of him, because Thomas Olsen has found his way past Alvin Osland and got himself up in a 4th. So it's Prado, Vial, Jacobi's just a couple of positions here, I feel. Or is that Sterry? Yeah, Sterry. So working their way towards the end of this first official full lap then here. The MX2 qualifying race, the opening round of MXGP's FIA Motocross World Championship here in Patagonia. Great move there from Watson, scything his way up the inside of, it was Boerame actually, Valandren trying to go with him, and Harup having a bit of a battle with him as well as they go past our TV position. But Prado it is who still leads, only 1.5 seconds clear of his teammate Tom Vial, the Red Bull KTM 1-2 as it stands right now. Jacobi is 3rd for F&H, Olsen 4th for Rockstar Energy Husqvarna, Osland 5, Revo Husqvarna. Then in 6th place it is Adam Sterry, as Jacobi looking to go after the young French teenager here. This is a battle for 2nd place, 16 minutes plus 2 laps to go. Dirk Grubel, the MX2 team manager, actually was on our studio show on MXGP TV today as well. Obviously talked about the hurling situation, but asked him why the choice of Tom Vial. Just said, you know, they did actually audition quite a few riders, and he was the one that shone. So obviously wanted it a little bit more, possibly. Or maybe they just saw something else, but he did say he's got a nice riding style, very similar to that of, and he goes down here, he just tips over in that corner. That's a tricky corner as well there, because it falls away quite steeply. So Vial goes from 2nd then, he's going to lose a bunch of positions here. Might dent the confidence a little bit, but here's Jacobi. And Thomas Olsen, that rider there, number 19, the big tall Dane. To fight for 2nd now, because Jacobi now up in the 2nd position, and Prado, well, he did have about 2 seconds over Jacobi at the end of that first official full lap. Those guys are going to hit the line any moment now. Here's Watson, 9.19, behind his teammate, 1.93, Jago Gietz, so they found their way past the 28 of Tom Vial, who looks like he's about to get duffed up here by the number 10 of Calvin Valandren for HRC. who ducks his head to avoid that roost off the rear wheel from the KTM ahead of him. So Prado leads, Jacoby, he's increased his lead by about half a second. Thomas Olsen third, and set the fastest lap of the race of 44.2, but we're talking hundredths here. And Vial fighting back here, goes back past Ben Watson, so no nerves there for the young Frenchman. And this goes back to what Dirk Grubel was saying. He put everything into that audition, if you like. And this is obviously what they would have seen from Vial when they sized him up for a potential ride. He goes back past Watson and then tries to split the two Monster Energy Khmer Yamahas. So, and he gets nudged off the side of the track there. Didn't lose a position, didn't gain it. Well, he did lose a position, didn't gain anything there. He had nowhere to go. He got nudged wide to the outside of the track marker there. He had to pull on the track at the earliest possible convenience, which was in the next turn. So the two Khmer Yamahas duking it out in light blue. The Belgian, Diogo Geerts, just ahead of the 919. His teammate Ben Watson, who was victorious at the final pre-season race last weekend in France at La Capelle Marival. He goes to the inside, Diogo Geerts lets him have it around the outside, but these two need to be careful they don't trip each other up, because this corner, a couple of years ago, remember the two Huskies of Olsen and Covington went down there. In the main race, though, that was. So, 13 minutes to go, plus 2 laps. Prado only a second clear of Jacoby. There's the two Monster Energy Khmer boys almost tie themselves up in knots through the first couple of corners. Olsen third, Sterry fourth. Osland is in 5th position as Watson looks for a little bit of smoother ground at the rear wheel. Needs that drive. His teammate knows it's him now that's behind him. Watson will have the right line in this turn. He commands it perfectly, then runs wide, and that's what happened between him and Vial a lap or so ago. Geerts now has to go to the outside. He'll get double through here. But Watson does take the shortest route through, gets him ahead of his teammate. So Watson now up in a 6th. Geerts 7, Tom Vial in 8th place. 9th is Valandren. 10, Dylan Walsh. Warame is in 11th place. 12, Mitch Evans for Honda 114 Motorsports. 13, Mikkel Harp on the Ice 1 race in Husqvarna. 14, David Puches. 15, Gustavo Pessoa. I think he's been passed by Maxime Renault, actually. So the Yamaha SM Action MC Migliori rider from France is now up into 16th, 15th place. Conrad Muse for Hitachi KTM, fueled by Milwaukee, finds himself coming from, what, 25th, 26th on the opening lap, up to 17th. Then we've got Chervin, Larinaga and Sanai. Not a lot in it between the top 3 as they're about to hit the line. Prado, a 1:43.3, the fastest lap of the race, and he's extended his lead to 2.4 over Jacoby, 3.2 over Thomas Olsen. But Watson hits the line now. A 1:45.6 for him. All right, there's Olsen. One or two riders struggling to get over that second jump in the trees after this long sweeping right. Vial here coming under attack from Calvin Valandren. These two fighting over 8th place. There's a nice little step there, but some of the guys not quite getting all the way over there this year on the MX2 bikes. Muse now up to 15th. He's found his way past Maxime Renault. It's Dylan Walsh here, or it's Arvin Osland actually. So Osland in black on that Revo Husqvarna on the Monster Energy jump now. He's got Watson just behind him, then Geerts, then Vial, and then the guy there bringing up the rear in red for HRC, Calvin Valandren. So we've got a 4-5-way battle here for 5th place. And it's the Swede, Alvin Osland for Revo Husqvarna, UK, who just has the advantage. But Geerts under attack now from Vial as well. So he got that great start, but he's not been able to turn it into an advantage just yet. Oh. Thomas Olsen, he's not scared. He's going to... Oh, I tell you what, I was about to say he's not scared to run it down the inside of anybody, and he almost ghost rode his way into Jacoby there. lost the front end right where he didn't need to. So 9.5 minutes and +2 to go. And there's Jorge Prado. He doesn't look his normal, comfortable self around here. The gap, less than 2 seconds. He was at 44.8. Jacoby and Olsen were 44.1, 43.9 respectively. So the quickest out of that trio was Olsen in 3rd place, and he's starting to close the gap on Jacoby. And we could see an interesting battle here in the last 8-9 minutes of the race, +2 of course. Not a bad debut though for Tom Vialli. He has finally been passed by Calvin Melanren. And Sterry looking to pounce as well. So Jacoby, just there, the lead FNH race in Kawasaki. He's in 2nd position, going after the Red Bull KTM of Jorge Prado, of course, the defending champion. Tripling their way into that rhythm section over on the far side of the racetrack. Loamy, volcanic ash, dirt. Soaks up the water, and it's getting a lot bumpier, much more quicker than it has done in the past. Olsen had to cut to the outside there as Jacoby defended that inside. Are we going to see the Husky outdrag the Kawasaki? Those Cowies actually have been working pretty good in the preseason. Adam Sterry at Hawkstone Park International a couple of weeks ago, mid-February, pulled a couple of hole shots and actually should have been the outright winner with 2 wins, and made a mistake, allowed Jago Kietz to capitalise on that particular day. But how much do we read into those pre-season races exactly? This is where it counts. The FIM Motocross World Championship. This is the MXGP of Patagonia, Argentina. But it's Jorge Prado looking a little bit stiff and a little bit uncomfortable out there. Not what we would have expected here. Olsen just losing a little bit of ground, and Jacoby going for the jugular here. The FNH Kawasaki believes he can win this qualifying race. Of course, this is just day 1. Day 2 tomorrow, the race for points. Cast your mind back to the Monster Energy FIM Motocross of Nations. The end of September, Redbird in the USA last year, and Prado didn't have the best day. It wasn't a bad day, but he wasn't his normal sort of energetic self, and then turned up on race day and was the best MX2 rider by far. But he's on the ropes here. Jacoby sensing an opportunity to take his first ever qualifying race win. And he goes to the inside. Prado knows he's there, lets him have it, and gets pushed back to the inside. So it's going to be a drag race between the KTM and the Kawasaki. And again, just riding defensive, and Jacoby takes the lead on lap 8. Whoa! Back end. Swipe the front end of Prado's KTM. As the rear of Jacoby's Kawasaki lost major traction. Just looking out of commentary position window here, Darian Sinai pushing his bike to the edge of the track. Looks like he's got a mechanical 2 corners from home. But look at Jacoby. Oh, he was short at the end of the waves, and that's going to let Prado back in. And Olsen in the mix. Olsen could win this one, you know. Done playing games. Jacoby tried to take Prado wide. It's kind of the battle that we've not seen Prado in for a long time, actually. He was pretty dominant the second half of the year on his way to his first ever MX2 world title. You watch Olsen. He's going to go from 3rd to 1st in the next 5 minutes +2 here. He's just sat there. These two have been tripping themselves up over the lead. I mean, with Prado, is it arm pump? Is he just a little bit nervous coming in as a defending champion? Now Jacoby on the ropes. He goes tight. He senses the Husqvarna of Olsen behind him. And Olsen going to make a lunge at the end of the finish straight here as they go past pit lane. And already Jacoby showing his cards a little bit too early. He went defensive, but he's going to run the Dane to the outside. Almost parks him in Buenos Aires. Back markers starting to come into play now as well. 7:07. Matteo Birisi moves out of the way on that white machine as Prado, Jacoby and Olsen go by. Olsen losing a lot of ground though. And again, Jacoby looking good here. Will he square off and go down the inside of Prado, or he goes a long way round? Might lose out here. He's got to hit the brakes. Does just that. Controls that turn nicely. Quick pull of the tear-offs as well. Clear vision as he heads uphill. Fans are loving this. Of course, Prado, living in Belgium, but Spanish born and raised. Massive Spanish influence here in South America, in Argentina. They only want to see one guy win this weekend, and that's Prado, the defending champ. That guy in orange in the middle for Red Bull KTM. He gets good drive out of that right-hander. 3 minutes to go, plus 2 laps. These guys are around 15 seconds clear of the battle for fourth place. Watson has just found his way past Adam Sterry, actually. So Watson now 4, Sterry 5. Verlanderen is up to 6. He's found his way past Osland. So it's all changed. And for the first time this race, Jacoby leads a lap over the line. Hard ground underneath. A lot of riders using scoop tyres, paddle tyres, because of the soft nature of the ground here. But the F&H Kawasaki of Henry Jacoby has found himself a little bit of clear track. He is not looking comfortable, is he, the 61 of Jorge Prado? He was short on that second floater, had to correct. He got a kick off the next jump into that long sweeping right. He triples his way into the inside. Track very open at the moment. We're about 1,000 meters above sea level here, so there is a bit of altitude as Olsen shows a bit of attitude to Prado. He moves into second place. What did we say about 5 minutes ago? Olsen could win this one, you know. He's got clear track ahead of him to go after the number 29 of Henry Jacoby. The fastest in morning warm-up and time training, the Rockstar Energy Husqvarna of TKO. Big question is, though, can Jacoby hold on? His best qualifying was a couple of fourth place finishes last year at Assen in the sand, and before that in France. So this will be massive, and a massive shot in the arm. A boosting confidence for the number 29. He'll see the clock, he'll know the 2-lap wall will go out next time around. But Olsen looking good for a possible win here. Is dispatched of Prado. He's got the smoother line around the inside. It's the shortest route, but is he going to make it stick? Because it tightens up at the end of the straight there. Oh, he should find his way through. Jacoby's looked across to his right, and we have a new leader on the, well, with 3 laps to go, 2.5 laps to go, and it's the big Dane, number 19, Thomas Olsen. Still not got it done yet, though. He's still got a lot of work to do. Takes the shortest route through that wave section just to maintain that advantage over Jacoby. Well, we've had a real belter of a qualifying race here in MX2, haven't we? But look at Jacoby. He is not done yet. He's in second place. Prado third, a couple of seconds off the lead now. Watson fourth, Verlanderen fifth. Evans, that's a good ride for the Honda 114 Motorsports rider. He's pulled himself from outside of the top 10 and got himself up into 6th place ahead of Adam Sterry, Alvin Osland, Jago Kietz, Tom Vial. David Puches for Diga Procross Husqvarna finds himself in 11th place ahead of Conrad Muse, Mikkel Harup, and Kaylee Chervelin. Ika Laranaga, Gustavo Pessoa, Matthijs Boerame, Bas Vassen, Brent Van Donnet, Maxime Renault, Zach Pichon and Richard Zucchina of the European travellers here, 21st and 22nd. 32 riders on the line. And unfortunately, Darian Sinai will go to the line 32nd tomorrow because of a technical issue just a couple of laps to go in front of our commentary position. Right, 2 to go. The gap between first, second and third, about the same, second between each. High speed right-hander at turn 2. Over the first of 2 beautiful floating jumps in the middle of the trees there. These guys 17 seconds clear of Watson. Watson losing the toe early on because of a poor start. Again, Prado looking to go to the inside. He looks like he's regrouped a little here. Because now he's going back after Jacoby on the number 29. Back marker just ahead of Jacoby. In the blue here. Needs to keep himself out of trouble. Does just that. Both guys go to the inside. Back marker, the 133 of Luciano Righi. He moves to the outside, gives them plenty of track to work with. A nervous start, though, for number 61, Jorge Prado. Tense start for him as the defending champion. Maybe that was part of the problem. So now trying to get back on terms with the 29 of Jacoby as Thomas Olsen there disappearing out of sight. His gap was just over a second over the 29 of Jacoby. It goes defensive again, swings to the outside, but that might just set up an opportunity for Prado to get alongside him down past pit lane here. The gap between Olsen and Jacoby has doubled. It's now 2 seconds, and Prado looking to go square up the inside. And if not here, maybe around the outside. No, he switches it back to the inside here. Oh, those bumps, you see that? Jacoby was sat down. He just got a rocket at the back end there as he hit one of those horrible holes. So Jacoby, either way, second or third in this qualifying race will be his best ever in MX2. But Prado moves him wide and parks him. Runs him off the track. Wow. And look at that. He couldn't get back on the track any sooner than that next left-hander, Henry Jacoby. He'll be spewing underneath that helmet as well because you've got a Dragon's back and there's no way you can get back on the track other than getting on in that next left-hander. But he ran wide there and off the side. In fact, Prado was a little bit naughty there because he went right out and hit the brakes and just gave him absolutely nowhere to go. Watch this here. Just goes in, parks him. And then look at that, just nowhere to go. Off the side of the track, a little bit of mountaineering. He'll be like, okay, I've banked that for future reference. Gloves are off, started early here then. Prado now to second. The gap between him and Olsen as they came over the line was 2.5 seconds, 2:44. So as we come towards the end of the final lap then, Thomas Olsen goes through the final left. He takes the first checkered flag of the season here with a win in MX2 qualifying. Well, he was a danger man, wasn't he, as he lurked in third position. He wins by 2.2 seconds over Prado. Jacoby third. I wonder if those two are having words already. Fans love that. Fantastic way to get the season opener underway here in Patagonia, Argentina. Fourth, Watson, 15 seconds behind Jacoby. The Landrum was fifth for HRC. Mitch Evans over the line now in sixth, 28.5 seconds off the lead. Adam Sterry goes through in seventh. Osland in eighth. Ninth should be Conrad Muse. Good recovery for the Englishman. And Yargo Hirt crosses the line in 10th place. Anyway, let's talk to our winner, Thomas Olsen. Here he is with Lisa.
Thomas Keir Olsen, congratulations. A perfectly timed race. You sat there patiently. A great start to your 2019 campaign. Tell us about it.
yeah, I sat there in third for a while, and yeah, I could see Henry was making a push for the third place, and I was just kind of staying behind him a little bit. Yeah, I knew that in the end I would try to make a move and just stay quiet in the beginning, so it was good to make that happen and finish the first race of the year in first, so that was really good.
Good luck for tomorrow. Thank you.
Thomas Olsen then picking up his third ever qualifying race when he picked up a couple in 2017 in Trentino in Latvia. So that'll go down nicely. That'll go down well with the team, I'm sure. But proper fun and games between Prado, Jacobi, and your eventual winner, Thomas Olsen, in that first MX2 qualifying race. Right, official confirmation then of the MX2 qualifying race here in Patagonia, Argentina. Thomas Kjærulsen wins from Jorge Prado, Henry Jacobi, Ben Watson, Calvin Vallanderen, Mitch Evans, Adam Sterry and Alvin Osland, with Conrad Muse and Jago Kietz rounding out the top 10. Tom Vial came home 11th. David Puches 12th, Mikael Harp, Ika Laranaga, Michaeli Chervelin, Bas Varsen, Maxime Renault passed Gustavo Pessoa on the final lap. Brent Van Donnick was 19, Matthijs Boarame was 20th, then Zach Pichon, Richard Sakina, Dylan Walsh 23rd, Sergio Villaronga was 24th, and in 25th place Lucas Dunker. Darren Tanai though, 32nd, he'll be disappointed with that. Hopefully the team can rectify whatever that situation was ahead of the race tomorrow. Of course, a little bit more difficult than usual because don't have the race trucks here. They're working out of a crate. They bring the essentials. They bring what they think they might need. So hopefully it's just something quite simple, but they'll be having to do the big rebuild and the strip down tonight, that's for sure, just to make sure they eradicate every eventuality. So a little bit of track prep going on, water going down as well. If you joined us late, qualifying highlights look a little bit like this. This was MX2 qualifying just a short while ago. Gate dropped, 20 minutes plus 2, and over on the right side you've got Ben Watson, and he got squeezed going from the first turn. His teammate went around the outside, but it was 2 Red Bull KTMs of Jorge Prado and Tom Vial who led the way from the 29 of Henry Jacobi. Alvin Osland was in there in 4th position, but he pretty much started to lose the toe as the race went on, as Thomas Olsen started to find his way through. Just here, second rider in shot now in yellow. Went from 5th to 4th on that lap, just as they got towards the end of the wave section. Jago Kietz was on the move, so too was Adam Sterry in the early stages. Sterry would eventually come home in 7th on that number 8-11, but his teammate here in 3rd picked up 2nd as Vial just slipped on the exit of that turn on the infield. And that gave him a massive boost in confidence, because he then went after the race leader at that time, Jorge Prado, whilst Prado's teammate, Tom Vial, was in a real battle with the 2 Monster Energy Khmer Yamahas of Jago Kietz and Ben Watson. Watson eventually found his way through on the Frenchman. He then went past his teammate Kietz, started to carve his way through the field. Eventually, he got himself up into 4th, but by then he was already around 15 seconds down on these guys here. Jacobi eventually found his way past the 61 to take over the lead. Prado responded immediately. Guess what? So too did Jacobi. Lurking dangerously in the background, just keeping a watch in brief, was the number 19 of Thomas Olsen. He then struck with about 4 minutes to go. He moved into 2nd with that pass on the Spaniard, Jorge Prado. He then went after Jacobi, the battle for the lead. He eventually got on the right side of the German, had the commanding line through the next turn here, and he took over the lead. Final lap though, Prado just went straight for Jacobi, ran him off the side of the track, and that was the battle for 2nd, done and dusted. But it was Thomas Olsen who came home 2.2 seconds clear of Prado. Jacobi, Watson and Vallanderen ran it at the top 5. Fantastic way to get things up and running here in Patagonia, Argentina. MX2 qualifying out of the way. MXGP will be up next. Another 20-minute plus 2-lap race. Of course, that will be a 4:10 gate drop. And we will be on air just a few minutes before that at 4 o'clock. So in about 4 minutes' time. So here are some of the best moments. Enjoy them from the MX2 qualifying race. We'll be back with MXGP at 4 in 4 minutes' time.
Ready,